In April of 1981, in a quiet mountain community in Northern California, a single cabin became the scene of one of the most brutal, unsolved murders in American history. 4 people were killed inside Cabin 28. Some were bound, some were stabbed. 1 child vanished into the darkness. Suspects were named, evidence existed, but more than 4 decades later, no one has ever been convicted. This is the story of the Keddie Cabin Murders. Keddie, California was never meant to be famous. A small, unincorporated mountain community in Plumas County, surrounded by pine forests and railroad tracks. People here locked doors, but not out of fear. Nothing ever happened in Keddie, until it did. At the center of this story stood Cabin 28, part of the Keddie Resort, a modest wooden cabin rented by a single mother trying to start over. Sue Sharp, 36 years old, had recently moved to Keddie with her 5 children. She was rebuilding her life after a divorce, hoping the quiet town would offer safety. On the evening of April 11th, 1981, it was supposed to be an ordinary Friday. It would be the last night 4 of them would ever see. Sometime after 10 p.m., something went terribly wrong inside Cabin 28. Investigators later determined that Sue Sharp, John Sharp, Dana Wingate were attacked in the living room. They were bound with electrical wire and medical tape, beaten, stabbed repeatedly. Weapons used included a hammer and knife. The violence was extreme, personal, prolonged, and disturbingly, no signs of forced entry were found. While 3 people were murdered just feet away, 3 children slept undisturbed in a bedroom. Rick Sharp, Greg Sharp, Justin Smart, a family friend. They heard nothing. They saw nothing. This fact alone would haunt investigators for decades. But 1 child was missing. The next morning, April 12th, Sue's daughter, Sheila Sharp, who had stayed overnight at a neighbor's cabin, returned home. When she opened the door, she stepped into a nightmare. Blood, bodies, silence. Emergency services were called. By noon, the cabin was crawling with law enforcement, but crucial mistakes were already being made. Friends, neighbors, and even children were allowed to walk through the cabin before it was sealed. Evidence was contaminated. Footprints overlapped. Objects were moved. The crime scene, one of the most violent in California history, was compromised within hours. Then came the question no one could answer. Where was Tina Sharp? 3 years of waiting. For 3 years, Tina remained missing. Then in 1984, human remains were discovered nearly 30 miles away, near Feather Falls. They belonged to Tina Sharp. She had been abducted from the cabin and murdered elsewhere. The case was no longer just unsolved, it was unraveling. The named suspects investigators eventually focused on 2 men. Father of survivor Justin Smart, known to be violent, had a criminal history, was reportedly angry with Sue Sharp. A close associate of Smart, former military, allegedly present the night of the murders. A handwritten confession letter, never signed, was later found among Smart's belongings. It described the crime in chilling detail, yet no arrests were made. Over the years, investigators cited mishandled evidence, lost forensic material, witness credibility issues, deaths of key suspects. Martin Smart died in 2000. Bo Bubaid died in 1988. Both were gone before charges could be filed. Cabin 28 was demolished in 2004. For many, that demolition felt like the final burial of justice. In recent years, renewed interest and independent investigations have uncovered previously ignored evidence, new DNA possibilities, strong circumstantial links to the original suspects. But officially, the Keddie Cabin murders remain unsolved. 4 victims, named suspects, 0 convictions. In Keddie, the forest has grown back. The cabin is gone. Time has moved on. But for the families left behind, time stopped in 1981. Someone knows what happened in Cabin 28. And until the truth is spoken, the Keddie Cabin murders will remain one of America's darkest unanswered questions. If justice delayed is justice denied, how long is too long? Share your thoughts below. Subscribe for more deep dive true crime documentaries. And remember, some stories refuse to stay buried.